Hi. I am standing on a red dirt road in Kenya. Today is October 31st, 2025, and the sun is a warm weight on my shoulders. The air is alive with the scent of dust and distant wood smoke. Tall, golden grasses of the savanna sway. A wind I can only feel moves them. It feels like I am standing on a line that runs unseen, deep under my feet. People have many names for these lines, but the one that has captured my imagination is ley lines. Today, I want to take you on a journey to explore this idea. I promise to speak simply, without jargon. I will just tell you what I saw. I will tell you what I heard. I will tell you what I felt. Let's walk this line together and see what we can find. I promise it will be a journey worth taking, full of questions, quiet moments, and maybe, just maybe, a little bit of magic. My journey into the heart of this mystery began in the Great Rift Valley, a place of immense geological power and ancient human history. Here, I met a local guide named Amina, a woman whose smile was as warm and welcoming as the morning sun. She grew up in a small village nestled near a circle of old, weathered stones that her community held as sacred. People still come to this place, she explained, leaving small offerings as they have for generations. I saw them for myself. Tiny, colorful cloths tied to a nearby thorn bush, a few coins glinting in a crevice of a rock, and small, smooth river stones placed carefully at the base of the largest monolith. These were not grand gestures, but quiet, humble acts of remembrance and respect. I did not see any shimmering lights or hear any celestial music. There was no sudden jolt of energy. Yet I did feel something. It was a profound sense of peace that settled over me, quieting the usual chatter in my mind. My heart, which had been beating a little faster from the walk, seemed to slow its rhythm, matching the gentle pulse of the land around me. I felt grounded, connected to the solid earth beneath my feet. Later, Amina and I walked along a high ridge trail, a path worn smooth by countless feet over many, many years. She pointed to a curious feature, a long, almost perfectly straight line of termite mounds. The elders said these mounds follow unseen pathways in the earth. Along our trail, people stop to rest and offer a quiet prayer. I placed my hand on a sun-warmed stone and thought of the maps I drew as a child. Maybe lines connect us to the places that matter. To truly understand the journey I was on, I needed to look back at where the idea of ley lines began. It takes us to early 20th century England and a man named Alfred Watkins. He was an amateur archaeologist, a businessman, a passionate photographer exploring Herefordshire. One sunny day, looking at a map, he had a revelation, a flood of ancestral memory. Lines crisscrossed the landscape. Ancient sites seemed to fall into alignment. Standing stones, burial mounds, hilltop forts, old churches. Many churches stood on older pagan places. Watkins saw a practical network, prehistoric trackways. He published The Old Straight Track. Decades later, the counterculture rediscovered the idea. John Michel proposed something more magical. Ley lines as conduits of terrestrial energy, akin to dragon lines and the lung mei of feng shui. The lines became arteries of the living earth. People walked them for healing and meditation. Dowsers claimed they could feel them. Skeptics pointed to chance alignments and lack of evidence. And so the debate continues, between the measurable and the felt, the map and the magic. My curiosity was awake, and I knew my journey could not end in the Rift Valley. I walked on a white sand beach at dawn, the sky painted in soft hues of pink and orange. I spent a morning with an old fisherman. He did not speak of ley lines, but he spoke of lines nonetheless. He showed me a submerged, straight row of coral heads and an invisible channel that guides fish and fishermen. Was this a ley line? Perhaps not, but it was a natural, unseen pathway life follows. From the Kenyan coast, I flew to England, where the idea began. I stood by a circle of stones, the grass thick and soft, the stones cool and damp to the touch. Just like in Kenya, people leave small gifts: a flower, a ribbon, a handwritten prayer. We walked an alignment, stone circled to a lone tree to a church spire. In silence, boots soft on the earth, a distant crow calling. There was a simple, meditative quality to walking in a straight line. It felt purposeful. It felt good. It was a physical act that connected me to an idea, and to the ancient landscape itself. The final leg took me higher than ever, to a quiet mountain in the Peruvian Andes. The air was thin and crisp. Distant snow-capped peaks looked sharp enough to cut the sky. Ancient terraces, humble shrines, offerings of coca leaves and flowers. My guide, Mateo, showed me a path snaking along the sharp ridge. On this brilliantly clear day, your gaze follows the lines of valleys and the ridgelines of other sacred peaks. Apas. The path felt like a line drawn on a map and etched into the living earth. Mateo learned it from his father, and he from his, a map not on paper, but held in the body. A ley line did not need to be mystical energy to be real. It could be tradition, memory, a path of knowledge passed from one person to the next, a line of cultural continuity, as powerful as any line of force, connecting past to present. Standing there, I felt connection, not to abstraction, but to the people who had walked this way before me. After all this travel and these quiet moments, I want to be honest with you. I still do not know if ley lines are actual threads of energy running under the ground. I do not possess a special sense, nor did I bring instruments. I never saw a shimmer, heard a hum, or felt a force. A part of me remains a gentle skeptic, and I think that is all right. Yet, I cannot deny what I experienced. People mark certain places. Some spots feel different. They build stone circles, erect churches on ancient mounds, carve paths along mountain ridges. They tell stories, they create patterns, and they remember them. These instincts repeat all over the world. That is undeniably real. Walking a line, country path, or city street invites the opposite of haste. It encourages deeper listening. I paid attention to small things: a lichen's precise color, a new bird's call, the whispering leaves. Meeting people like Amina and Mateo, when they point and say, "Here, this place is important," I feel part of something bigger, and the story shapes how we act together. On my last evening in Kenya, I returned near where my journey began. I sat on a low, flat stone as the sun painted the sky in gold, orange, dusky pink. Laughter on the red road. A goat ambled by. Smoke and baking bread drifted from the village. My journey was ending, but a beginning stirred inside me. I thought of the lines I had walked: Rift Valley termite mounds, the ancient track in England, the ridge path in Peru. This journey felt like walking into one of my childhood maps. From a dusty map in Herefordshire to a global story, a path people can walk. You don't need to fly across the world. Take out a map, pick two old places, draw a line between them, then walk it. Walk slowly, notice the small things. Say hello to a stranger. You don't need to believe in anything magical, just your feet, your eyes, and an open heart. Who knows what invisible lines you might discover in your own backyard?